everybody out there in Facebook land. We are here in the office today with Miss Tammy Dale. You're good. Miss Tammy Dale with American Home Shield, and she's going to go through American Home Shield home warranty. She's going to go through the amazing program that we have with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. So, guys, watch up. If you have any questions, let us know. And Miss Tammy, I'm going to turn it over to you and fix the computer.
Sounds good.
All right. So, everybody in here, if you want to move up here so you can hear.
What are you doing here?
Hey, there may be a section I need for you.
You need a section for me?
All right.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. That's good.
Wow.
So good afternoon, everybody. Or it's still good morning, almost afternoon. It's good to be with you. I want to start off by talking a little bit about the company. American Home Shield used to be a ServiceMaster company. I don't know if you guys knew that. We were under the umbrella of ServiceMaster. So that changed about 3 or 4 years ago. Our parent company is now Front Door, which adds confusion sometimes because people automatically think Open Door.
Yeah.
So not to be confused with Open Door, no affiliation, but the name of the company is Front Door. So these other companies listed are all under the umbrella of Front Door. And you'll see HSA on there. So I started with HSA about 14 years ago. And then American Home Shield acquired HSA. So I have been selling American Home Shield for about 4 or 5 years. So sometimes I have to stop and think about contract stuff and all of that because I get two contracts going in my brain. And I actually I was in real estate back in the mid-90s. I was a real estate agent. And then my now ex-husband and I moved to Illinois. And when I moved to Illinois, I did not get licensed there, so I started working for 210 Home Buyers Warranty. So I've been doing warranties for about 20 years. But you'll see American Home Shield was the first, it's the oldest home warranty company, and it's the largest in the country. 60,000 technicians, and we are included in over 500,000 real estate transactions a year. So I know that's kind of boring, but you need to know a little bit of background about the company. Okay, so what is a home warranty? It is a residential service contract that should certain mechanical failures occur while the contract is in place, the warranty will either repair or replace. And it's gonna repair or replace from normal wear and tear. Had somebody call me yesterday and they had a storm and had roof damage and wanted to know if they could turn the claim in. Maybe it's money in here, but wanted to know if they could turn the claim in under the warranty because they have the roof coverage. The warranty does not cover acts of God, storms, things like that. It's gotta be normal wear and tear. When, one of the kids flush Barbie down the toilet or something and causes a clog in the plumbing, that's not gonna be covered. So it's just things that occur over time, failures.
Is that new or that's always been?
It's always been that way. It's really that way with every home warranty company. They all cover mechanical failures that happen just.
Who determines what's normal wear and tear? The mechanic that comes out?
Good question. So the question was who determines what's normal wear and tear? It is the mechanic, the technician that comes out. So sometimes the homeowner may disagree with what that technician says. If so, you can always get a second opinion.
Do we choose our own people to get a second opinion, or you would dictate who comes out?
We would get a second opinion for you. We would send one of our contractors there, yeah. So if you do get a second opinion, we will initiate the second opinion and send somebody else out.
So like if an air conditioner just gets old and tired, is that covered under warranty?
As long as it's failing. Like a lot of them get old and they're just not as efficient. And if you're getting a home inspection and the home inspector notes that like it's not reaching the temperature differential or something like that, then that's a cause for concern. There could be something about to fail or it's not running at the capacity that it should. You can file a claim for something like that. A lot of times a home inspector will just note the unit's 22 years old, but it's working properly. If he notes that, then there's no need to do anything. The unit's working fine, so just because it's old doesn't mean it needs to be replaced. We run into that a lot right now because, yes.
Well, if you're going to today, when it gets to 101 degrees, the fan is going off the hook.
That's
So-
why I just put my phone on silent.
So like my client just moved in and they got the 1 year, complimentary, and I'm trying to push upgrading so they can get more coverage, because you can do that within 60 days, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just say that they had inspection and like we said about the differential, is American Home Shield going to expect to see a copy of the inspection? If it's like within like, let's just say they moved in 60 days and the air conditioner's not working.
Good question. So we don't require a home inspection, but if they're,
copy of the home.
Yeah.
we don't require a copy to see it. The only time we may ask to see proof that something is working and if they file a claim within 48 hours, within a week or 2 weeks after closing, they're filing a claim, our technician goes out and he says, this was obviously pre-existing, it wasn't working right beforehand. At that point, we may ask to see a home inspection or service records or something showing that the unit was working prior to closing.
So was working mean working efficiently or just working?
If the home inspection notes anything wrong, if he notes that that temperature differential wasn't where it should be then, that would indicate a pre-existing, so the problem was already
So they
there.
would ask for the report in that case?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. May, that ask for something to show. Sometimes we can, it's
But
tough
they
because,
didn't do an inspection.
yeah, and that happens a lot now too. She said, what if they didn't do a home inspection? Then there's nothing to show, so sometimes we just get a second opinion out. I would ask for service records, or when the last time the unit's been serviced, or something like that, just to show that it was in working order. And sometimes we just don't know. But second opinion sometimes says, it's amazing, our own contractors, if I send a second opinion out, they'll come up with a totally different.
But some of them will say, it's at the end of its life.
Right, it's exceeded its
yeah.
life, yes.
Okay.
Because all the units, like hot water heater, HVAC systems, they all, depending on the brand, the size, all that, they have a lifespan. So that inspector is just covering himself by putting in there, it's exceeded where it should be, But that's fine, the warranty won't have any issues with that, because the unit's still working fine, just because it's exceeded its lifespan, it's in proper working order. So it would be fine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, how you file a claim? So, when the warranty's in place on a property, they have to file the claim with us. They have to either go online or call the 800 number and file the claim. When they file the claim, it's gonna be a $100 service fee. We used to have the $75. I don't know, people don't like that, but we no longer have this. It is.
$75 is still good, cause I keep saying, is it still 75? Sure, it's still 75.
Yeah.
For some people, it's $2,500.
Yeah.
Even if you just
And
call
it
it-
keeps people from calling us like to change a light bulb. We get people that file claims that are like super simple, It's like, get a handyman and have them do that and not even pay your $100. So if it's something minor, but it does on those major things, it's gonna save people.
Here's something I have to ask, the $75 come off fee, I call it. Is that different if they did not purchase the warranty right after closing or connected with the closing at all, and they just go out next month and purchase the warranty? Is there anything different in the rates and the fee to come out?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a whole department at our company that's direct to consumer. So if somebody doesn't go through the real estate transaction with you guys to purchase the warranty, or you don't initiate it through me or whatever, then they just call 3-4 months after
Right.
and get their own coverage. Yes, rates are different, service fees are
Okay.
different, and a whole different even coverage. It gets kind of confusing, but it usually saves a consumer, saves a buyer to purchase the warranty at closing, or at least the 60 days after closing that they have, because it's less expensive for them to do that. When they call in and get direct to consumer, it's typically higher. And now that, and we'll go over it in a minute, but now that we have that Shield Complete, it is so comprehensive with what it covers. It beats any direct to consumer product and all the real estate. Yes, oh, it's really good. So they're gonna file the claim, they're not gonna get their own contractor. They're gonna file the claim with us. We're gonna dispatch one of our contractors. Once we send a dispatch, the contractor has 48 hours, 48 business hours to get out to a property to diagnose. Now, guess what happens at Friday at 5 o'clock? When
Your air
somebody,
conditioner breaks.
your air conditioner breaks and they file a claim and nobody's gonna be out until Tuesday, and they do not want to go. It's the weekend, they don't go the weekend. Yeah. July 4th's coming up.
You gotta burn out before they get it.
I know. So know that, I mean, there's just, we do have expedited procedures, so we will send expedited, but it's gotta be temps like we have now consistently for 3 days. Elderly people in the home, babies in the home, something, medical issues, yes, and then we have to be there within 24 hours. So that is available, but it's amazing the people that call in and have like 4 units in their house, and like the upstairs goes out and they're panicked because we can't, because we got people that with only 1 unit in the whole house.
Yeah.
You know, if they only have 1 unit, we gotta put them first in the summer, I mean, you know. So does that make sense to everybody? So we're gonna dispatch him, and he's gotta be within 48 hours. And then once he gets there, if he can repair it while he's there, he'll repair it. If he can't, a lot of times they have to order parts, order equipment, then they have to come back out to do the repair, do the install. Sometimes people are like, you know what, I don't wanna wait a few days, and know that they're gonna have to wait to get the part. It may be a few days before we can go back out to do the install or whatever. They always have the option of getting a cash, we call it a cash in lieu, a cash out amount. So this is what we were gonna pay our contractor to do this repair. If they wanna go get their own guy to do it, they can, and we will reimburse them. What we were gonna pay our contractor.
So they don't have to wait the 48 hours then if that was the case?
If their contractor can get that, well, they have to wait the 48 hours for us to get there.
Right.
But then once, if we have to order equipment and it's gonna be next Monday before we can get back out, and they're like, well, my guy can do it tomorrow. They can do that, but they need to let us know so we can get them that cash out amount, so they know exactly how much we're gonna be reimbursing them. It gets, I'll be honest,
As long as they have to be certified, I'm sure.
it gets a
When
little,
you ever fix my air conditioning.
it gets a little confusing with that.
Yes, exactly.
Because some of our,
That's the criminal Donna. I'm just kidding.
because some of our contractors
Love you, Donna.
have approval to, if it's with, under a certain amount, they have approval to go ahead and do the repair, and they don't have to submit it to us. So we really don't know until the homeowner calls, or they call you, you call me. And then we know, wait, there's a problem, or this repair was never done. You know, does that make sense?
Yes.
It does, but I mean, I can see where there could be some dicey.
That's what I thought too.
Supply chain for y'all and the contractors with replacement parts. I
Yes.
can imagine.
Yes and yes.
There was out of AC, there was bagged on AC.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Good, and with the supply issue, nothing to do with home warranties, just
No.
across the board, globally, yes, it's affected us, and it's also affected us with, that's why I honestly, sometimes I push cash out, like, to get your cash and move them out. That way people can just go get their own if they're not,
And it's on them.
it's on them, and so they're not like
It's on
all
them.
mad at us.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, if we tell them, and it's just that way sometimes it's taken us, you know, a month to get a part.
Yeah.
And they get aggravated, and I understand that, but if they can find it, and we'll give them the cash and let them go do it.
And what
But-
about total replacement, if a dishwasher can't be repaired, replacement of that dishwasher?
That takes you 6 months to get
That's
it.
what, you know, I mean, I'm getting to that, but then also, what's the turnaround on that?
It really depends on,
I know it depends on that issue, you know,
Yeah.
the.
so if we
whole
can't
supply
repair it,
chain.
or the part's no longer available, or it's gonna take forever to get the part, they will need to replace the whole thing. But, and again, we run into that before, especially with appliances. It's been-
Hot water heater's the first thing that comes to my mind, I mean, that's something everybody needs and uses.
And I had a situation last week where they were all upset because our vendor went out, we were gonna replace the hot water heater, and it's like on a Monday, and he was gonna come back out and put the new hot water heater in on Thursday, I think. Totally unacceptable for them. They just flipped out, they're like, there's totally unacceptable, they ran it all the way up, but that's just the way it is sometimes for that vendor to get the hot water, and I get it, nobody wants to be without hot water, I don't either, you know, but it
Did
just.
you pay out for replacement?
We would have given, I offered, I said, let me give you a cash and lieu amount. We'll do it. Then
I
they
got
went to,
I
they,
got partial amount of money towards my heater, not my heater, no, my unit, my AC unit, when it broke, they contributed a portion. I don't know if they still do that.
part of it, we will, part of it, when you say a portion, our contractor's pricing and what we can get parts and equipment for is always a fraction of what a retail contractor would. So like, we can do a repair for $2,000. If you call a retail person, it's probably gonna be $6,000. And I know you think I'm exaggerating. I'm not.
I know some of the contractors.
A lot of people don't
Bad
believe that.
experience.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I know, and
Y'all
you're-
get a lot of the low ball.
Y'all get, like vehicles, they give that cost, and we go get the same thing bill, we do.
yeah, and you're right with the vendors. I know people get aggravated at home warranty company
Well, the vendors
contractors.
definitely,
But, you know, you have these big service companies, they don't need a home warranty company's business. They've got enough business on their own. So it's a small mom and pops that sometimes aren't the most
I'm
organized.
really glad that you're recognizing what it was, because,
Oh, I know.
you know, we've had other people that do quite honest with us about it.
Oh, it's, no,
And we are the ones that are kind of,
you're in the.
we're selling your product.
Yes, yes, no,
You've been real across the board.
You're being upfront with us.
I am.
I call on the phones all the time, I'm gonna say us
I had
and
no
answer.
clue.
I don't care when you
At all, and I've been selling this for 5
Really?
years.
Always asking for
This
cash
is
out.
great
Just know if they do
information.
get the cash in lieu amount, the cash out amount, a lot of them are like, there's no way you can do it for that. They think it's way too low because they have gotten a retail price and know what it's gonna cost them to put it in retail. So they're not happy with that, like you were talking about a fraction of the AC repair.
I just have a question about, you know, in general. Let's say in the case of like the hot water heater or a dishwasher, maybe the people have been in the home for 5 years. Did you ever go back to them, do you ever require them to go back? You know, it could be a manufacturer's defect. Do they go back to the manufacturer if it's covered, you know, by warranty from the manufacturer in 10 years, why would American Home Shield have to pay
When it's the
when
manufacturer
it's the
defect.
manufacturer's defect?
Most time a technician will know that, he'll
He
know
will?
there's been a
Okay.
recall or something like
Okay.
that. And he will help them start the process
Okay.
of filing it through
Through the manufacturer.
the manufacturer, and then if the manufacturer sends them a new one,
Yeah.
he would still, our guy would still go back out and install it for them.
You know, I had a situation, it was about 3 years ago, and I had a home that was listed at Zones One, and right before the inspection, the cooktop went in, and the technician for, you know, American Home Shield, and I had sold them it, so it still had, and then obviously it wasn't, about 2 years later, they were relocated again. And the technician wouldn't talk to them at all. They were so frustrated with me, like, you said, you gave us this warranty, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they were very angry with me. And when I called, tried to talk to the technician to say, did you at least, you know, give them some, you know, help as, you know, contacting the manufacturer for the, you know, and it was inexpensive, it was like a wolf. And, they just had a real bad taste in their mouth, so I'm wondering, you know, I'm glad to know that now, maybe that particular one, it was just a fluke, but that did happen.
And that does happen sometimes, honestly, because our, you know, our vendors, our technicians, they don't work directly for us, so we're
So they're
trusting the
independent
contractors.
contractors.
Yes, we're
Uh-huh.
trusting our contractors, and I'm gonna be totally transparent with you. It is very difficult to get people to work right now, as you all know.
Of course
So
it
the
is.
last thing people wanna do is work on an AC system in 100-degree weather.
Three weather.
Yes, so I had one the other day, and the vendor, we couldn't get, okay, so they were out of hot water. We sent a company out, technician went out, did the diagnosis, and then nothing, we didn't hear anything. You know, the homeowner was calling me like, what's going on? When are they coming back? What's going on? I called our service department, and they were like, we don't have a diagnosis from the vendor. He never submitted it.
Did he actually go?
He went and got mad that day and walked dispatch he had been on that day, took them with him, didn't turn them in. You know,
I'm gonna
so
help you eat this food, okay?
please do. Nobody else, don't eat, there's
Oh,
plenty
I
of food
know,
up here.
great, love it.
So, it,
Jeff's gonna be upfront, personal, I will too.
yes, with these,
We've already
I get that it happens sometimes, but that's why I want you guys to know I'm here for you. So when you're working with your customers, give them my card and have them call me directly. And so you don't have to take those calls. They're probably gonna call you anyway, but you can say, look, I work with Tammy, she's part of my team, call her, and I'll deal with it.
I mean, at the time, you know, the other representative's mom was quite ill, so I understood that. But it really did leave, and I never had a chance to find out if doesn't technician can do that, so it's good to know.
Some technicians will call us while they're at the house.
That would be
They're
nice.
all set up differently. Some go on all their calls for the whole day and submit them all that evening. I don't like when they do that because it's kind of like wastes a whole day
Yeah.
of us getting the diagnosis, because then we won't get it
And
until
you
the next
can't
day.
till you're starting the
Yes,
next day.
yeah.
Thank
I thought this was interesting. 31% of our claims come in the first 90 days after closing.
That's what it always brings, when you first move in.
First move in.
I can imagine.
So-
Sellers are liars too.
Because they don't know.
Let me tell you, I closed one, it wasn't even 30 days later, her whole bathroom upstairs ran over. 30 days after the close.
And cause flooding issues probably.
Yeah, they, American Home Shield took care of it, but I was like, we had an inspection done, and I said, how do we, missed it.
So you can imagine if they don't have a home warranty, people are still having issues within, 90 days after closing. I mean, people just live and work in their homes differently now. So with the low inventory, like it is right now, the way the market is, I know the warranty is not being negotiated as much. Used to, it was common in the special steps to always ask the
Right.
seller to buy a warranty for the buyer. Then the market changed, and nobody wants to do that.
But nobody wants to ask, they're afraid.
Yeah.
They're gonna say.
No, and I get that.
actually bought an American Home Shield for my VA company,
Oh, did you?
so.
I tried it.
And then, I'm pushing the ones that go through Jeff,
Yeah,
and then they usually continue after a year.
yes.
They're happy.
Like 70% of the people that get us first year will renew us. I found that interesting. We have people that's been with us for 20 years. Yeah. You? That's why you
Over.
got that
More than.
$75 service fee. You're grandfathered into that thing. But you can too, and I know I've talked about this before, but sometimes get the warranty negotiated during due diligence. When they go out there and the home inspector sees that the systems are 22 years
Yeah.
old, and you don't wanna go back to the seller and ask for an allowance, or, because they're gonna be like, I'm not giving anything, they're working, so we're not doing anything. But sometimes the seller will be willing to do a 1 year or 2 year home warranty. You know, you can do up to a 2 year. So sometimes you get them to do that, but if not, of course, the buyer can do it. And we have, the 12-month pay plan that we can put them on too, so they're not having to come out of
Okay,
pocket.
in that case, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
In that case, let's say, the seller says, no, I don't wanna pay. Then can we replace it or whatever? Can we, at Coldwell Banker, offer it, do we still get that opportunity to give it the 1 year free? Or not?
What else did they know?
Like, you know how we, if it's our listing, we automatically give the 1 year warranty, it's the Coldwell Banker.
If I do business with you.
Yeah.
Just, you talking about the ones that go through GRA?
No, if it doesn't go through GRA,
It's only through the listing.
if it hasn't gone through GRA, which I know is a terrible thing.
I was like, what?
I mean, come
You
on.
got his
You're gonna have
Same
your
as a cash
first
deal.
with Karen.
I know. Well, let's say it was a cash deal, and the seller's like, no. And it's our listing, our Coldwell Banker listing. Oh, wait a minute, it's already covered.
You talking about during the listing period?
No, after it's listed.
After it's listed,
Yes.
there is no free complimentary,
No.
unless they're going through GRA to get their loan. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah. Somebody's either gotta pay for it at closing or go through,
Okay, so that's the one shot.
yes.
Okay.
And they've got up to, I think it's actually 90 days now after closing to get the warranty. are not automatically put on. I think at one time, did you guys have those automatically put on? They're not automatically put on.
It's just covered during the listing
It's
period.
covered in the listing. And then if they get along with Jeff,
Then
it's
then
free.
it's got, okay,
So you can put it on your listings, like when you list a property,
Yes.
you can put the warranty on. If it's negotiated, then it would be paid at closing. If it's not negotiated in the contract,
okay.
then we would simply cancel.
Okay, so along those lines, I guess where I wasn't real clear in communicating was, let's say it is our listing and we had the time, you know, during the listing period, the coverage. Let's say the seller will not repair some things that were on the inspection report. It's for the seller, can they transfer it over to the buyer, or is there any way we can back and forth between the buyer and the seller? Since it has a home warranty, but it's for the seller.
It gets tricky because really the seller would need to file the claim. And we have people that won't, so yes, the seller could file the claim under the listing period, pay the
Correct.
service fee, have the work done.
Okay,
And then,
that's my question.
yes,
Okay.
and then if the warranty is negotiated in the contract, it'd be paid at closing, transferred over to the buyer. If it's not negotiated in the contract, but we've done those repairs, or it gets negotiated out, your seller refuses to pay for it, we can still cancel, and they're not gonna be billed. Your seller.
Is that
Well, can you
every state or
explain
just
that? I was thinking that if during the listing period and there's an inspection, that's a pre-existing condition upon the closing. And if there's a home warranty post-closing, that's a pre-existing condition.
Well, if it's
So
something
why
found
would
during home,
y'all
it's,
pay for it?
well, if something was found in the home inspection and you have it covered under the warranty, the claim will need to be filed then.
Okay, by the seller.
By the
the
seller. So I
Okay.
see what you're saying, and people do this a lot. So sometimes people will,
So let's just use a microwave, was found not working by the RIA inspector.
okay.
Then the seller can file a claim on that?
Oh, yeah,
Maybe they didn't know it wasn't working, let's just say
Yeah.
that's weird that they wouldn't know, but it didn't work quite up to par, let's say.
and that happens a lot with home inspections. They come out during a home inspection, and your AC may be working, but it's not, they don't know it's not working to what it should. So
Yeah,
they'll
up
check
to
the
par.
differential, yes. If there's something is found, then we can turn that in under the warranty. They can file a claim under the warranty.
Now, is that across all the states or just in Georgia?
All of the states are like that.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't say.
I only care about yours.
So does that make sense on seller coverage? Some, some people will try to put it off and say, the seller will say, well, I'll buy the buyer a home warranty at closing, we'll transfer this one over. They can turn the claim in after closing. They don't
Maybe they're
go
on
to-
state. Maybe they've already moved that.
And you can do that because the warranty was in place then. But it could raise some issues with, what if there's non-covered charges associated with the claim? Then the buyer's gonna have to pay it. Once it's closed and the buyer's turning in the claim, and the buyer may not be too happy with that, knowing it actually started on the seller's side. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't wanna get too much in the weeds.
Yeah,
I
I
bet
bet
you
you
it
it
might
gets
be,
very complicated.
Yeah.
a HVAC
Yeah.
situation where there's non-covered charges.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole thing's
Yes,
not covered.
exactly. But you can't put the warranty on your listings, but they're not automatically enrolled. So if you get a listing and you want the coverage on there, either send it to me, or if you're comfortable going online and doing it through the portal, that's fine too. But just be sure it's $5 or anything else. Is that confusing?
So it's just a premium to cover it during the listing period, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If,
It's a MacBook too. I don't know about MacBook.
we were live, and I don't know if we still are or what happened. Y'all, please get more food. There's plenty. I got cookies too.
Ooh, yum.
I know, we're still live.
Oh, we're still on.
Yep.
We have chocolate chip and white chocolate macadamia.
Oh. losing weight, well, not now.
See y'all later, I got an appointment.
Oh,
Bye, Marita and Donna.
We do need for you to step in underneath the school.
I'll see you when you get back to the station.
Bye, hon.
Bye.
Oh, have a great vacation. Where are you going again? Oh, how nice.
Yeah, I'm not leaving till Saturday, but I got an appointment today tomorrow. I'm kind of busy right now, time to get ready to leave.
Wouldn't you know? You don't know you can pay
Good to
for
see
it.
you.
Oh, okay.
So buyer coverage, I thought this was interesting. 83% of buyers, will purchase a warranty when recommended by their realtor. So last couple of years, we've seen more consumer directs, like direct to consumer, because the realtors were getting so caught up with so much other stuff at closing, they weren't, warranty wasn't negotiated, so they weren't even mentioning it. So, just when you're working with the buyers, if they're not going through Jeff, which is a great deal with the free one going through Jeff, but if they're not going through him, just offer it to them and let them know they do have it. We can do a 12-month pay plan, and we've already talked about this. It's renewable. It is 90 days. We did change that, so they can do it up to 90 days after closing. We've already talked about that a million times. All right, so the Shield, we were talking about the coverage a while ago. So the base is in $475. It's the essential. Keep in mind on your listings, they get the essential coverage. If everybody's got you'll see exactly what's covered under the essential. So you'll notice appliances aren't covered in the essential. The essential we're covering, like, do you have one? Heating and air, hot water heater, plumbing, and electrical. The big main
The
things.
essentials.
The essentials, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what your seller's gonna get if you have listing coverage in place.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Appreciate it. Well, that's good to know.
And then the plus, you'll see what's added with the plus, and this is, it adds the appliances in, and this is for the buyer only. But y'all, really the best one, and when they're going through Jeff, they're getting the plus, just so you know. So you see the plus is $600. So after closing, if they decide they want the extra coverage for the complete, we can do that. We can change their coverage, give them the complete, and it's only $100 difference. So your buyer would pay $100 because they're getting the free one through Jeff, then they get the, they can get the complete, which adds a ton of coverage.
What about square footage?
We don't like talking about that.
I don't. But I paid it for a long time for larger homes.
And that's true. So honestly, yes, if it is through, if it's over 5,000 square feet, if it's a little bit over, we don't wanna know. If it's significant, and it's obvious it's a 8,000 square foot house, the price will be different. Yes.
What if during the listing period, they wanna go to Shield Plus or any of the other ones, and we only offer the free Shield Essential? Can they pay a difference, or?
Not during listing period. They really don't. Unfortunately, seller doesn't have any options, to be honest, and that's because a lot of times we put seller's coverage in place, pay out on claims, and we never get paid on the policy, so they limit seller's coverage. That's why they only get the essential.
Doesn't Coldwell Banker pay?
Mm-mm.
Where did I get the idea that Coldwell Banker?
Maybe in the past they have or something, I don't know.
I don't know. I thought there was an agreement with y'all.
And that may have been in the past, not now though.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Shield Complete, just the reason I keep promoting it, it includes roof leak coverage, up to $1,500 worth of coverage. It's one with the appliance limits at $7,000, which is unheard of for appliance to be most warranty companies are $4,000 or $5,000 max. So theirs goes, the Complete goes up to $7,000 per appliance too. It covers all of Freon. So keep in mind if they have the Essential or the Plus, that we're paying $10 per pound on Freon, and they're gonna be responsible for the.
Expensive, I just think it pays some.
Freon is expensive. That's why I really try to push the Complete, because it pays full amount for Freon. There is no $10 cap, it's the full amount, so it really makes a big difference if we're changing out an HVAC unit. it covers a lot more of it. And I like this, the rekey. So rekey is for, if they have the plus, the rekey is included in that coverage, but they have to pay their $100 service fee after closing if they want to take advantage of rekey. And so for $100, they can upgrade to the complete, and the rekey is free. They don't have to pay their $100 service fee. Does that make sense? It just adds so much coverage. I currently have HSA on mine just because I used to work for HSA and I had it for so long. But when mine's up for renewal, I'm going to the complete, just because I've worked for different home warranty companies and I've never seen one with that comprehensive of coverage. So we shouldn't get complaints, y'all, is what I'm trying to say, if we have the complete.
Yeah.
Boy,
That's what we're open for. And you know, all of our policies are the livable and forgivable. So home warranty companies used to, and some of them still do, I think they, like if it's over a certain age, they prorate what they're gonna pay and things like that. If it's old, lack of maintenance, rust and corrosion, some of those things that mismatch systems, undetectable pre-existing, all of those things are covered in every single policy. The essential, the plus, and the complete, of course.
So the complete is 700 for 5,000 square feet.
Yes. 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 I saw something here. Oh, undetectable pre-existing, and I know we talked about pre-existing a while ago, but, no warranty company will cover a known pre-existing. In other words, everybody knew from the home inspection that the hot water heater had a leak, because he noted it in the inspection. And then after closing, the buyer wants to immediately file a claim because their water heater is leaking, and if they go out and see that, we ask to see a home inspection, it's gonna show it. So, no warranty company will cover anything that everybody knew wasn't working prior to the warranty going into effect.
What if the seller had an inspection done the buyer independently, didn't even show the seller, but they just wanted, that we didn't put it on the contract. If we do your inspection, it kept a clean contract, but the buyer just, curiosity was killing them, they wanted to know what they were buying, so they had an inspection. Obviously something showed up. If I encourage them to get one of these when they haven't moved in, they're getting a lot of things done in the house. New kitchen, redoing finishing the basement. Spending probably $150 grand in total. And I encourage them to do this year. What do you say? I mean, what, if they have a private ownership of their inspection report, don't they?
Yeah, we don't have to see it, no,
Right,
no.
right.
And honestly, we wouldn't even ask for it. I wouldn't recommend filing a claim shortly after closing. I'll just put it that
Well,
way.
they've already closed, see, they closed a month ago, and they're not moving until right before snow.
Should
Because
be.
of engineering here and, getting all their new things. It's just, they bought 2 or 3 homes from me, they're good people, yeah, still probably a couple of months or 6 months down the road. That roof just might show up. Right.
And that,
I'm just being honest.
no, and,
I know she's gonna befriend us.
Yeah,
I mean, she already has.
and
She's our confidant.
that's right. As long as we don't know any different, it will be fine. If it's several months down the road, especially something like that, it'll be fine. The only time I get concerned is when people file a claim, and this happens a lot, y'all. Yes. Or they close on a Friday, start moving in on a Saturday, and file the claim on Sunday. Yeah, yes, and we've had them do that for 5 things, and we're like, really?
That's a bozo red flag.
Yes.
Like,
And you know, and even though sellers may lie, it's funny when a technician goes out, what a buyer will tell our technicians. Well, we knew this in the home inspection, but this wasn't working. But my realtor told me to put a.
You would be surprised how many people
They
would
will tell them, and so if they tell a technician that, he's gonna note it and send it into us, and then they're gonna red flag it and deny it, because they know it wasn't working based on the old less is more, that's all we'll say, yeah, tell them not to. So these are all, some of these are options and some of these are covered in the policy. Rekey, we've already talked,
Directed by the builder. There's probably nothing I don't think they can do, is there?
probably not,
I didn't think so. Yeah, they have to come out of
which is
pocket.
unfortunate for them.
It is, because they're coming out of pocket $2,500.
Oh, gosh,
Cause it's a $12,000 repair.
oh, gosh.
But they're using their homeowner's insurance, which is now gonna cause, an increase
They're
in their
increasing their premium,
It's just a
yeah.
nightmare.
And the homeowner's insurance, the deductible is usually quite a bit higher too,
Well, that's the $2,500.
but that's a 20, oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the builder's just not going, well, obviously I'm not gonna sell anymore with that builder, but,
He's not standing behind it?
No.
Wow.
Nope.
Any other questions for me, y'all?
I don't think they would sue. They don't.
Oh, thank you, that was so, I learned a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, 'cause I didn't know about, like, the.
I know, they should.
Cash out.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so, yeah, if we could get that, I'm going on to listen to them today, so, that's good.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. Come on.
I'm gonna turn off the.
Oh, lots of stuff.
Did you just ask what you missed?
Sorry,
You made to run through that whole thing?
but I think I got it. No, you don't have to.
Did you get any specific questions?